everybody, and welcome to the third episode of the Ripple Effects podcast. We're so glad that you've joined us here today. Today, I am joined by Brian. Thank you for being here. Welcome. And we got Mary back in the office.
Yay!
We're glad that she's back, and we've been falling apart without her. And we're so glad that she's here. Today's episode is sponsored by something very special, and it was something that happened recently. Today's episode is sponsored by Fresh Eggs. And the reason that we're sponsored by Fresh Eggs is, was it last Sunday or the Sunday before?
Sunday before.
It was the Sunday before. I was standing there at the end of first service, and in the offering basket was an egg. And One egg.
Yeah,
and
one
I
egg.
thought it was an egg shaker. So I went up there and I grabbed it. It was a little lighter than this, and I'm like kind of shaking it. And I'm like, this is a real egg. And as we all know, it's worth like $1,000 right now. So, sponsored by Eggs. If you want to keep donating your eggs to the offering basket, I guess we'll do something with them. I'm not sure.
Make
And
cake.
we still don't know where the egg came from.
I have my
thought maybe
suspicions.
someone would fess up.
I think Norman Wright had something to do with it.
Oh.
I think he's
Ooh.
something to do with it. Okay, so today we're going to switch things up just a little bit. Normally near the end of the episode, we have our Spotlight of the Week, but I want to give a special shout out to the Spotlight of the Week. This week, we want to especially highlight and say thank you to an individual who has gone above and beyond to help out this congregation. And he usually is a part of the kids programming and the ministry there and just does an amazing job. And I'll let Mary introduce him a little bit, talk a little bit about him and what he's done and why, at least in the last 2 weeks, we couldn't have done this without him.
It's always stressful when you take vacation because you're leaving lots of things behind. Things that could go wrong. You never know. Somebody's going to call. Inevitably, someone lets you know Sunday morning that they're sick and they can't cover a class or be there for their responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always very stressful for me. Thankfully, I have a volunteer extraordinaire, Justin Colvin, who is my sidekick in so many different areas. Camp, he's taken over that for me, and junior worship and summer blast and Wednesday nights. And so this year when I went away for my convention and for my vacation, Justin was in charge. And I was confident that no matter what came up, whether it was technology or volunteers or a random question from a kid in class, he had it covered. And so I'm so grateful for him.
How many volunteers on a Sunday do you have any given Sunday making the services, the kid stuff happen? Do you have a rough idea?
Yeah, I have about 36 to 40 from birth to 5th grade on Sunday morning.
We're not volunteers.
Volunteers.
Not the kids.
Not the kids,
That's
the volunteers.
36
the
to
teachers,
40
the assistants,
to
the
40.
check-in people, the nursery people, all of those things.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of juggling.
Yeah. So we just want to especially highlight him, and he is here in the studio with us today. So would you welcome onto the set Justin Colvin? Come on down. He's so mad. He didn't know we were doing this. I texted him today, and I was like, could you just pop in for a minute? We want to talk to you. But he didn't know that this was going to be recorded. So welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so glad
Thanks
that
for
you're
having
here.
me.
Absolutely. Welcome to the set. I know you're a big fan of the show.
Oh, definitely.
Big fan.
Every episode.
Big subscriber.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
Okay, so my question for you is, you've always been very much involved since I've been here and willing to help. Why do you help so much? Why do you say yes? Is it just this?
Because I get to work with Mary Green.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Duh.
Okay, good.
That can't be it.
I mean, that's definitely one of the biggest parts of it.
Mhm.
I don't know if I should look there or to you guys.
Wherever you want.
But
Our studio production is so big here.
Yeah,
You look,
yes,
there's
yeah.
cameras everywhere.
there's something new on every site. I love working with Mary. I've learned a lot from her. She handles everything with grace, and I love the kids. So, I mean, I've enjoyed working with kids for a very long time, and she just enhances that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, as you know, I have many children, and
Thank you.
I just know that my children love you, and we're very grateful for you. Real quick before you go, what's something that you, if someone were to send you a little gift or send you a little snack or some way to bless you, what's something that you enjoy? Are you a snacker? What goes someone get you to? to say thank you?
Barbecue Pringles.
Barbecue
Oh,
Pringles.
Yes.
All right, people.
Yes, those are my weakness.
Oh man, you heard it here first. Well, we just wanted to highlight you because there are so many volunteers that do so many incredible things, but you have absolutely been a consistent voice and face, and we're very grateful for you.
Thank you.
So, do you have anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for coming in.
Oh, thank you.
We
Thank
love you. That's it. That's it. All right. So there's your spotlight of the week. We are so grateful for so many of the volunteers that help out at church. We know that we get to come up with ideas, but really none of them really happen if we don't have you guys that help make the ministry happen. So there you go. That's the spotlight of the week. We're gonna jump back up to the top and give you a little recap of the weekend. This weekend, two things particularly happened. One, Brian, you had some other people helping with music this week. So we've had some faces and voices we've seen before, but talk a little bit about that, why we have different people helping.
Well, of course, we're in the rewind throwback worship stuff, and the guys that helped lead this week and really picked out the songs. I mean, we had input to that, but the guys that led love throwback songs anyway, not only church songs, just 90s. Caleb and Anthony are really into the 90s, early 2000s worship music. And so Jack sent me a message a few weeks ago, like, we would love to lead one of the services because this is like the music that's right up our alley kind of thing. Yeah. So I said, sure, but I want to play with you just because. And
they need adult supervision as well. That's really what it is.
That may be true. They practiced like 3 times. I don't even know how many hours they got together and practiced. But my thing is, I like playing on weeks that I don't have to lead. So it's kind of a selfish reason because I enjoy what I do all the time, but there's something about not having to be in charge of everything and not having to be the one to start the track and just always thinking ahead that makes it really enjoyable to just be up there sometimes.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy that. We had some audio issues and weird things. So if people heard that, it's not their fault. They're just bugs. There's always bugs to work out, and this was one of those weeks. But I did enjoy playing those songs and playing with those guys.
Yeah.
And obviously, they're all guys who are up there randomly, different weeks here and there. But they get together and play music, more often than we see them, for sure. I don't know how often, but they played at Railroad Days last year and just,
different
have
things.
fun together.
Yeah. So we're grateful for Caleb, Slavinsky, Anthony helped out, Jack DeFreitas helped out, Brian helped out. So Shoemaker, not Brian Tevez. But anyway, we're so grateful for them as well. And then if you missed the sermon, we'd encourage you to go back and listen to it. We talked about generations and how we pass our faith along to different generations. And I just wanted to say, if you're a boomer, I wore my pen just for you today. I got it there for you. So it's right here in honor of you guys. So we're going to move on to top TLCC top 3, the top 3 things that you need to know this week, coming into the week, and for what's coming up ahead. I've got the first one. So the first one is the Missouri Christian Convention. It's happening March 10th and 11th. So we are getting really close, just a little over a month away for the Missouri Christian Convention. It's one of the few statewide Christian conventions left in the United States of America. There's not a whole lot of them left. And what it is it's just Christians from around the state of Missouri. They gather together for a 2-day, basically like lots of church in a weekend. There are workshops, there are special speakers that come in, sessions, there's worship, there's tons of stuff for kids. It really is a family weekend. So if you're interested in that, we've done something as a church. We have pre-registered our entire church, which means if you want to go to the convention, you don't have to pay the registration for it. All you have to do is pay for your room and your board. You can go to mcconvention.org, and when you go to register, click "My church is already registered." You'll see that option, and then all you have to do is pay for your room. So it's a really inexpensive, great weekend for you and your family, where you'll get a lot of teaching, a lot of encouragement, worship, and it's a great weekend to participate in. And it's been going on for a long time. Have you gone to convention?
I've gone a number of years. It's been a while.
Have you ever been on the board?
No.
Well, Brian's been on the board. I know that. But so it's been going on for years. It's a great convention, and this year I'm the president of the convention. So I've been involved for a while, and we would love to see you guys out there. So that's March 10th and 11th. Go to mcconvention.org and you can register there. Okay, the second one I also have. Okay, I'm talking.
I was gonna say about the first one though.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You can go for a day trip.
Oh yeah.
The lake is close enough. You don't, so it can really be a low cost thing. Pay your gas, maybe buy a meal.
Yeah. So and the day to go is Saturday. So the kickoff is Friday night, which is great to be there for the kickoff. But you get a huge portion of content and material and encouragement. You can go in the morning on Saturday, drive down to the lake and participate in all of the stuff. Go to the workshops and see the services. And then we're done on Saturday by 4:15, so it's plenty of time to come on back. So yeah, even if you go for the day, it's a great opportunity. So, okay, the second thing is we have a new class.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Kicking off, it's going to start on February 12th. We mentioned it, like you said, lots of stuff happened on Sunday. We mentioned it during second hour. I forgot to mention it during the first hour. It's a new class. It's a Sunday school class that's going to happen at the 10:45 hour in room 404. And it's talking through the core values of the Restoration Movement. And if you don't know what that is, then you need to go to the class. It's about the roots of our church and about the roots of kind of denominations and how we got to where we are today. Dr. Kafarnis, Richard Kafarnis, is going to be teaching that class. It's a 4-week commitment, and you can go on the app, the church app, and you can sign up for the class. I'd encourage you to do that. And if you have any questions about it, call the office, get a hold of us, and we'll tell you all about it. But we are very excited about that class. All right, the last one, I'm throwing it over to Brian because I've talked a lot.
He's giving it to me because I love snow. Some people hate me for saying that, but like I love the 10, 15 inches of snow we have to stay home. And several years recently I've missed that.
Yeah.
But we have a little chance of like 2 inches of snow tomorrow, so I don't think anything's going to come of it as far as changes, but we always want to let you know about our policies if we do get weather and like where we talk about it and all that. So there's a few things. One, if it's a Wednesday and school is called off early or canceled, we are automatically canceled for that night. Okay, so that's tomorrow. So that's why we mentioned it today, is a little bit of a chance if they would call school off early, our Wednesday evening programming would not happen. But in general, about weather, we put notices on our website, so we can put like a little banner on the front page. So you just go to tlcc.church and it'll say a little alert announcement that overlays everything else, so you can't miss it. On our Facebook page is an easy place. We always put it there. And then we try to let Central Mo Info know, so that as they read on the radio stations, the 3 or 4 different stations in town, they will read it along with their list. And we typically also, if we have time, we post it to that KOMU First Alert Weather or whatever it is. They have a place where you can submit closings, so that if you're watching Channel 8, it'll pop up on there. But obviously the easiest place for you to go is our own pages, and those are the fastest for us to update.
Yeah.
The other ones, it takes them a while to get them in their system. So that's probably all we need to say about that. We try to have the lot cleared. We're so grateful to Tony Beaverson, who ever since Aaron Black moved, Tony has taken that over. And typically the lot is pretty good. It's not always completely clear. It just kind of depends on.
So we expect people to use their best judgment.
That's why we rarely.
Or bring your ice skates, and that also works.
Maybe one time in the 15 years I've been here, have we canceled everything on Sunday morning. We always try to have something, at least a short little scripture reading, communion, go home.
At 10:45.
At 10:45.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I not to jinx things, but you know how in your Facebook it'll say like all the memories. I think it was 2 years ago, and it wasn't even snowy. It was the ice.
Yes.
And we ended up canceling service on. It was Wednesday night. It was a Wednesday night. We canceled everything because of the ice. So.
And we have canceled Sunday morning once or twice, as I
Mhm.
remember it, because of that. Like, nobody should be getting out.
Yeah.
It was dangerous for us to even show up here
Yeah.
from our home to here. But usually we try to have at least a little something. And it's, again, we aren't you. You have to decide what's safe for you to do based on where you live, your vehicle, all those things.
I think that's why I'm so grateful too that we live stream on Sundays,
Mhm.
because even if weather is bad and you're trying to decide, is it safe for me to get out or should I stay home, you always have that option of watching live.
Yep.
And it's okay to err on the side of safety.
And on bad weather weeks, often we'll say like there are no kids classes,
Yeah.
or like all the preschoolers are in one room or something, because
Yeah.
all the volunteers can't necessarily be here.
Yes.
So, if you want to know, hey, are we canceling this week or not? The best place to go is tlcc.church. If you're wondering about, hey, is Wednesday night happening or is Sunday morning happening? If there isn't an alert up there that says it's canceled, everything is scheduled as normal. And if you have any questions, you can always call the office. And like we said, we're not you, so you have to decide what's going to be safe for you. And listen, there's no judgment. Like if you decide, hey, this is not safe for me to get out, then don't get out. We'd rather you be safe, and you're still a part of the family. You're still a
Mhm.
part of the church. So, it kind of highlights a little bit, just again thinking about Tony and doing the parking lot and everything, like just the amazing volunteers we have. So anyway, there you go. Okay, so that leads into the blessing of the week, and I'm not forgetting anything else, am I?
I don't
Nope.
think so.
Okay. So, the blessing of the week comes from a passage of scripture that I think Mary actually, she doesn't know it yet, but we'll be able to speak to a little bit. And it's this phrase that is used in the Psalms often. It's the phrase, bless the Lord. And we sing that song, bless the Lord, oh my soul.
Mm-hmm.
And it always rubbed me the wrong way for a long time, because I'm like, how can I bless God? Like I think about blessing someone by giving them something that they needed or didn't have. And I'm like, God doesn't need anything from me. And he certainly has everything, right?
Yeah.
But that phrase, blessing the Lord, is really about praising his name, recognizing what he has done and who he is. And the reason I said, Mary, you could speak to this, is because Mary made a comment, and it made me mad. She was standing in front of the heater, and she said, I had forgotten what it means to be cold.
For 2 weeks, I have been in sunshine and warmth, both at my convention in Florida and on the cruise, and flip-flops for 2 weeks, seriously, and sunshine on my face. And I come back, and it looked nice yesterday when I landed in St. Louis and drove home, but I forgot how cold our offices were and why we all have space heaters.
Mm-hmm.
And I have socks on, and my feet are still cold.
Okay, so tell me about that moment then where you get off the plane. Well, you talked about being in the sunshine a lot, but like you get off the plane, you're there, and like the sun hits your face. Like, was it a moment of just like, ah, kind of moment, or was it just like, when was it on the trip where you were able to really soak it in and be like, God is so good, and His creation is amazing?
There were so many times. I love the ocean. I love how vast it is.
But
I
you
love
don't like
the
to swim.
noise of it. I don't like to swim.
It's so
But
weird.
I like the sunshine. I like to walk along the beach.
Okay.
I love to look out and just think, I am a tiny speck
Mm,
compared to this huge ocean.
mm.
And my God is in control of this ocean, and how far the waves come up and how far the waves go out. And I'm tiny in comparison. And if He can take care of this, He certainly has me. And I'm so grateful that I have such a big God who loves me and takes care of me and gives me 2 weeks of sunshine
And gives you
flip-flops.
2 weeks of sunshine. She also made another comment that she hadn't put on socks in like 2 weeks because she was just in sandals. I was like, we are in the wrong place, people. Okay, so before I read this passage, do you want to say anything about bless the Lord? Because I know that is a phrase used in worship. Like, what does that phrase mean to you when you think about bless the Lord?
Kind of like what you described it. Of course, it is a scriptural phrase.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all of his benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why we sing it in 10,000 Reasons. But there's several other songs that I can think of. Most of them are old choruses.
Yeah.
I can't think of other like modern songs, but I think I equate it with like praise, a type of praise that's based on, and I'm the same for me.
Yeah.
I haven't done a biblical study on this, so
Yeah,
somebody's
yeah,
probably
no.
going to call me out like
No,
that's not
no,
what
no,
that
this
word
is-
means.
this is you.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but I think of it as praising God as a response to what He's done for us.
That attitude of gratitude
Mhm.
that says, I have been given much by a loving God. And I'm so thankful.
Attitude of gratitude, man.
Mm-hmm.
She's laying it down this morning. Okay, so this passage comes from 1 Chronicles 29, and just listen to David's prayer. And I was, as Mary was saying these things, as I was thinking about what I wanted to say today, I was just thinking about how in these months where it's colder, the sun's not always out, it can be sometimes a little bit down and like I wish that the sun would just come out or it would be warm, but we have what we notice and what we pay attention to. We can find reasons to be grateful and we can find reasons to complain, and in your life there may be tons of things to complain about, but there's also just as many and probably more things to be grateful for. So listen to this song of David, or a prayer of David. 1 Chronicles 29:10. It says, "Therefore David blessed the Lord in the presence of all the assembly. And he said, Blessed are you, O Lord, the God of Israel, our Father, forever and ever. Yours, O Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the victory and the majesty, for all that is in the heavens and in the earth is yours. Yours is the kingdom. O Lord, you are exalted as head above all. Both riches and honor come from you. You rule over all. In your hand are power and might. In your hand it is to make great and to give strength to all. And now thank you, our God, and praise your glorious name." There is certainly plenty that we could be frustrated at, but when we stop and notice what God is doing and say, God, help me see all that you are doing, we have plenty of reasons to praise God, to bless his name, and to say thank you. So don't forget this week to notice what God is doing in the midst of some of the frustrating things and say, God, you deserve my praise. I will bless your name and exalt you. So there's your blessing of the week. Don't forget to notice what God is doing in your life. Okay, last things to say. Mary, you got anything to say?
Sunday, State of the Church.
Yes.
Casting Vision, so you want to be here.
You want
Or
to be
watch
here for
online.
Sunday or watch online. It's the State of the Church address, and we're very excited about it. Okay, we love you all. Have a great week.